صلوات. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم. تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون. لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون. إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون. وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون. وسواء عليهم أنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون. إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم. إنا نحن نحيي الموتى وما نكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين. واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون. قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون. قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين. قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم. قالوا طائركم معكم أئن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون. وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون. وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون. أأتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يردني الرحمن بضر لا تغني عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون. إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين. إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون. قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين. وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جود من السماء وما كنا منزلين. إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون. يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون. ألم يروا كم أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون. وإن كل لما جميع لدينا محضرون. وآية لهم الأرض الميتة أحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون. وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وأعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما عملته أيديهم أفلا يشكرون. سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون. وآية لهم الليل نسلك منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون. والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم. والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالعرجون القديم. لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون. وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون. وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا صريخ لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين. وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون. وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين. وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين. ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون. ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون. قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون. إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون. فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون. إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم. وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون. ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم. ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون. هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون. اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون. ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون. ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون. ومن نعمره ننكس في الخلق أفلا يعقلون. وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين. أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وذللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون. واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون. لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم له جند محضرون. فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون. أولم ير الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم. الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون. أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم. إنما أمره إذا أراد أن شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون. فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. الفاتحة.
الفاتحہ. بسم اللہ الرحمن محمد وآل محمد صلوات. زہرا کی مصیبت کو سمجھتا نہیں کوئی، زہرا کی مصیبت کو سمجھتا نہیں کوئی، خاموش رہی رحمتیں کونین کی بیٹی، زہرا کی مصیبت کو سمجھتا نہیں کوئی، کیا ہونا ہے زہرا کو ہر ایک خوں کو پتہ ہے، ایک شام کا بازار ہے، ایک کرب و بلا ہے، بے گور و کفن بیتا ہے، بے پردہ ہے بیتی، زہرا کی مصیبت کو سمجھتا نہیں کوئی، اسلام کے دربار میں بلوایا گیا ہے، سیدی کا ہے کونین کو جھٹلایا گیا ہے، زہرا نے اذانیں سنی دربار میں کتنی، زہرا کی مصیبت کو سمجھتا نہیں کوئی، رومال لیے اب بھی دعا دے ہی رہی ہے، ہر آنکھ سے ایک اشک عزا مانگ رہی ہے، شبیر کے زخموں پہ ہے رومال یہ رکھتی، زہرا کی مصیبت کو سمجھتا نہیں کوئی، تنہا میں ہوں اور آنکھوں میں جلتا ہوا در ہے، پہلو بھی شکستہ ہے اور دنیا سے سفر ہے، پائیں گی سکون زہرا جب آئیں گی مہدی، زہرا کی مصیبت کو سمجھتا نہیں کوئی، کم سن ہے حسن رو होते हैं इस सदमाए जां को। जी भर के कहे देखूं मैं शबीर ने माँ को। खंजर के तले शाह को याद आएगी माँ की। ज़हरा की मुसीबत को समझता नहीं कोई। जलता हुआ दरिया के पहलू पे गिरा है। ज़हरा ने जी पाए यही वजह है क़ज़ा है। ये कहे के लहद में गई टूटी हुई पसली। ज़हरा की मुसीबत को समझता नहीं कोई। खामोश रही रहमते कौनैन की बेटी। ज़हरा की मुसीबत को समझता नहीं कोई। मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु।
Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. My dear elders, respected scholars, brothers and sisters, salaam alaikum. Please may I request you all to move forward with 3 loud salawats before we begin with the lecture. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala. Before we invite our guest speaker today, I'd like to give a short introduction about who he is. Dr. Syed Ammar Nakshawani is an Islamic scholar, author, and lecturer. He is the founder president of the Prophet Muhammad Institute for Islamic Studies, and having completed his undergraduate studies at the University College London and his PhD at the University of Exeter, he went on to study at the Islamic Seminary in Damascus. Dr. Nakshawani has served as a visiting scholar at the Center of Islamic Studies, University of Cambridge, and then migrated to the United States to be the holder of the Imam Ali Chair for Shi'i Studies and Dialogue amongst Islamic Legal Schools at Harvard Seminary. Furthermore, Dr. Nakshawani lectures at Harvard University, and he has also been on the list of the 500 most influential Muslims for the last decade. Please can we invite Syed Ammar to the minbar with 3 loud salawats.
على محمد وآل محمد حسن. Before we begin, if we could please recite a Fatiha in honor of our dear, respected, beloved, pure soul that was the Syed. May Allah bless his soul. There are many people who are described as Syed, but there's only very few who you describe as the Syed. And he definitely will go down as one of the ones who you could call the Syed. A personification, an embodiment of the message and the principles and the legacy of his grandfather Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam. May Allah bless his soul and the soul of all the innocent ones and all of the lovers of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam in particular who have lost their lives and the lives of one of their lovers, Marhuma, Razia, Karim, Alladitta, and her marhumin as well. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of your marhumin. رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. May I request, there is a cluster in the corner there, there are people coming in. If I can just ask all of you to move to your left, just to your left, and come closer to me, inshallah. As close as you can, please, especially our youth. There, we want them at the front, inshallah. If you can come as close as you can. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا وعظيمنا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع نفوسنا أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين وأصحابه الغر الميامين الحمد لله الذي جعلنا من المتمسكين بولاية سيدي ومولاي علي بن أبي طالب اللهم صل على الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. أما بعد, the right of your mother is that you should know that she carried you where no one else carries you, and she fed you from the fruit of her heart, that which nobody else would feed you, and she protected you with all of her organs. She did not mind going hungry as long as you ate, or being thirsty as long as you drank, or being naked as long as you were clothed, or being in the sun as long as you were in the shade. She would lose sleep for your sake and protect you from the heat and the cold, also that you would belong to her. You will never be able to be grateful to your mother unless you have Allah's help and support to be able to do this. The first of our loud salawat in honor of Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. A second even louder salawat in honor of Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. A third with your loudest voices in honor of the Imam of our time, Imam Sahib al-Asr wa zaman. Respected scholars, brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. The right of the mother is arguably one of the most beautiful passages from Imam Zayn al-Abidin, salawatullah wa salamuhu alayhi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. It is a passage taken from his monumental work and arguably one of the oldest works in the religion of Islam's history of literature, known as Risalat al-Huquq. As we know, our mother occupies arguably the most important position in our life in relation to our family members. Whether you're Jewish or Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, even atheist, there is a primordial nature within you that recognizes the beauty of the mother. You go to any human being in the world today, and you will see that each and every one of them will tell you that my mother is my be-all and my end. If I come now to a non-Muslim, that non-Muslim does not have to have read the Quran or known about the life of the Prophet for them to talk about the importance of their mother. In this country and other countries, you always have what's known as Mother's Day. Mother's Day is celebrated as a common humanitarian celebration, not as a Muslim celebration. Why? Because every human being knows that their mother is the meaning of sacrifice. Our mothers are the meaning of love. Our mothers are the meaning of dedication. Our mothers are the meaning of altruism and forbearance and dignity. Everything that we have in our life is owed to our mother. And that's why within the religion of Islam, you find that the religion of Islam places goodness towards one's parents, and especially the mother, only second to the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you look in the Quran, how many times you see, for example, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordained that you do not worship except God and you show goodness to your parents. Notice, God doesn't say you worship me and you pray. You worship me and you fast in Ramadan. You worship me and you go ziyarah of the Prophet in Medina, for example. No. Firstly, you worship me. The embodiment of whether you've understood what it means to worship me is your respect towards your mother. You show the best of respect towards your mother, then it's a recognition of Tawheed. If, however, you disrespect your mother, you're rude to your mother, then that shows that you don't understand what the meaning of monotheism is. Unfortunately today, monotheism is what? Oscillating tongue movements of La ilaha illallah. Monotheism is not just anyone uttering a shahada. It is practiced in the way that we interact with each other. At the same time, however, our biggest test may also come with our mother. In which way? We all know that sometimes your tests in life may come with your wealth, sometimes with your health, sometimes with your children. But one of the biggest tests that you may face in your life is with your mother. What happens if I have a mother who's gone older, who's a bit more erratic in her behavior, who needs a lot more care, who's a lot more opinionated, who may be rude at certain times? What do I do with a mother like that? Because while we all look at the positive traits of our mothers, there's a reality that our mother and our father are not ma'soom. Our parents may make mistakes. How do I react to the mistake of a parent shows my character as a Muslim. Sometimes the biggest test that I may face as a Muslim comes with my reaction towards my parents for all the good things my parents may have instilled in my life. What happens if my parent blackmails me on a certain issue in my marriage? How do I react to that? I love my mom, but my mom blackmails me in relation to my wife. Or my mom blackmailed me in terms of who I marry. Or my mom has an opinion religiously that's different to mine. I may now, mashallah, be a lot more religious, and my mom may not be as religious. So what do? Do I play holier than thou with my mom? Do I lecture my mom? This affected me on a personal level in my life, where if a person may have more knowledge than their parents, how do they differ with their parents in an opinion? We know that our parents, some are fortunate enough to have Maulanas as their parents. Others no. Others may have parents who are simple. And those simple parents, how do you react to them? What happens if they have a worldview and you have a worldview? Therefore, When Islam came to look at the issue of the mother, Islam did not just say, love your mom and buy her a present on Mother's Day. That's nice. Islam said, however, there's a possibility that you may be tested with something related to your mother in your life. What Imam Zayn al-Abidin does in Risalat al-Huquq is that he turns this on its head by showing you certain things to remember about the rights of your mum that may calm you down when you face a particular difficult moment with her. Let us this afternoon examine this passage that should be on the front page of The Guardian or The Times or The Telegraph on Mother's Day, because it's the most beautiful passage on the mother in the whole of the religion of Islam. And I'd like to examine it in the following stages. Number one, what does the Imam mean at the beginning when he talks about how the mother carried you where no one else carries you and fed you from the fruit of her heart? Number two, how does the Imam list different areas which our mothers may have blessed us with, which we cannot remember? Number three, which companion of Rasulullah never met him, but he saw, because of his respect to his mother, the highest of places? Number four, how many times did the Prophet stress on the role of the mother? And what did he tell those who thought that they may have fulfilled their duty? Number five, what if my mother's difficult with me? How do I reply back to her? Number six, what if my mother's not religious? How do I reply back to her? Number seven, what if my mother's not Muslim and I'm a Muslim? How do I react to a mom who's not Muslim? Number eight, my mother's rights, are they only in while she's alive, or does my mom have rights over me when she dies? And how can I make sure that I honor those rights? And finally, how did the Imam himself show respect not just to his mom, no, but to his stepmom as well? And how did he highlight to us that sometimes in life your mother may leave, there may be a stepmom, but the akhlaq has to be the highest. Let's examine this and dissect the topic in complete depth. The passage which I've chosen is from Risalat al-Huquq. When Muslims look at their early literature, you'll find, if you ask any Muslim, what's your earliest literature? They'll say to you, the earliest literature is, of course, the Quran. And then after the Quran, what's your earliest literature that you have? Non-Shia will normally go to works which are written 100, 150 years after the Prophet. For the Shia, when you are asked the question, what is amongst the earliest literature that you have? Then this work, Risalat al-Huquq, is one of our earliest pieces of literature. As in today, if you ask many Shia, what's one of the earliest literatures you have? Some might say Nahj al-Balagha, others might mention Al-Kafi of Shaykh al-Kulayni, but many of these were written 300, 400 years after Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa died. Whereas Risalat al-Huquq was a masterpiece of Imam Zayn al-Abidin. Imam lived how many years after the Prophet? Imam lived within 30, 40 years of the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. Therefore, the Imam produced this work. Why did the Imam produce this work? You know, in my opinion, this is the best work to give to a non-Muslim. Sometimes people ask me this question, what's the best book to give to a non-Muslim? The classic Muslim answer is what? Give them the Quran. Well, you can't really give a book that you yourself haven't finished. There's so many Muslims, you ask them, what's the best book to give to a non-Muslim? He says, Quran. I say, you finished it? He says, nah, bro, but my parents say it's a sick book. Huh? Have you finished the Quran? La wallah, I haven't. Have you finished it? Yes, I read the whole Quran in the month of Ramadan. Okay, so you read the whole thing, mashallah. It shows that you're a fast reader, to your credit. But then what? Do you understand the passages or no? So you're going to recommend a book, which in my opinion is the greatest book around. But if you recommend it to a non-Muslim, the non-Muslim may open a part of it which says, be kind to your neighbors, but may also open a part of it which says, kill the disbeliever wherever you see him. So is it the best book to give to a non-Muslim? Well, if that non-Muslim opens something out of context, may not be the best. It certainly is the best word of God, But not every word of God could be understood by the mind of the human the first time they read it. Then others will say, we'll give Nahj al-Balagha. But Nahj al-Balagha again has too many difficult passages. And a person himself needs to be a great historian to himself understand some of the passages. So what book do you give to a non-Muslim? Give them Risalat al-Huquq. Why? Imam Zayn al-Abidin lays out a manifesto of the rights that are to be observed by a Muslim. What's the first right? The right of God. In the United Nations, whatever its role is in the world today, we still haven't figured out. In the United Nations, there is no such thing as the right of God on us, is there? No, it's the right of citizens. Imam begins, number 1, the right of God. Number 2, the right of your nafs. Number 3, the right of your tongue. Number 4, the right of your eyes. Number 5, the right of your ears. Number 6, the right of your stomach. Number 7, the right of your private parts. Imam lays out that everything Allah has given you has a haqq on you. Everything around you has a haqq on you. Everything that God has blessed you with has a haqq on you. And that's why from there, the Imam goes on to what? The right of the mother. How does he begin? Know that the right of your mother, and this is how he starts, is that she carried you where no one else carried you. Can you remember those 9 months or no? I can't. I don't know what was going on in there in those 9 months. And that's why my mother, I can never be grateful enough to her. I can be grateful for what happened years later, but not for those 9 months that she carried me. The first thing why you kiss your mother's hand when you see her is that she carried you where no one else carried you. No one, your father, grandfather, cousins, they're all loyal to you and close to you. But that lady carried you for 9 months through thick and thin. And the Imam mentions that that's the first right, that your mother carried you where no one else carried you. And she fed you from the fruit of her heart, that which no one else fed you. Fed you what? Fed can mean 2 things. The first thing my mom could have fed me on the first level was what? On the first level, the first thing she's fed me is she made sure that halal food was fed to me. True? Have you ever been grateful to your mom that she fed you only the halal and not that was haram? The first thing that our mom done for us was what? Fed us that which is halal. Because today it's normal. There are people today, you'll find them saying, bro, halal, haram, what's the difference? What's the issue? At the end of the day, it's all the same. We will eat. And the main thing is you have a good heart. Ya Habibi, even that food could affect your heart eventually. Our mothers, if you look at them, they made sure. And subhanAllah, some of our mothers, until today, they make sure of this, by the way. You know, you think you've grown up now. You're in your 40s. You're in your 50s. You think your mom only fed you from the fruit of her heart, that which was halal when you were younger. How many times until today when you're about to go out to eat a meal, does your mom go, is it halal? And you're like, Mom, wallah, there's a halal sign outside. She's like, but have you checked? Mom, why are you being so pedantic? Wallah, it says it's halal. No. Why was the mother saying this? Because she knew you are what you eat. If you're going to just be lax with what you eat, it's going to have a spiritual effect on you and it's going to have a physical effect on you. Why do you think pork is haram? For what reason is the pig haram? The pig as a creature is a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every creation of Allah is beautiful. Every creation of Allah has a role. But the role of the pig is not to be in my stomach. The role of the pig may be part of the environment, what it eats from the earth. But the pig's role was never meant to be in my stomach. Why? Because the spiritual and the physical negatives. On the negatives of the physical, what are they? The negatives of the physical is that you can have so many diseases that come from what the pig eats. The pig is one of the animals that may even eat its own feces. Yes? On the negatives of the spiritual, the pig has a number of things of its behavior that could affect you as well. One of them, they say the pig is one of the only animals that if it sees another male with its partner, it has no problem in it. Today in society, you never thought we'd reach that day, true? You never thought that the human being would say that I would like to see such a moment, but you are what you eat. If therefore my mother says that we will not touch haram, that is something I owe my mom. Even how spiritual you are, depending on that food. Even subhanallah today, there are Muslims, they get married, very lax about the halal that they eat in their house. It doesn't matter. They don't even check. Even me, myself, I used to go to restaurants where, say not even halal, I go to restaurants where I'm going to eat fish. You know now what's the first question I ask? I say, please make sure there's no wine on the dish. In the past, who would care? It's fish. But I care that everything that enters my body is pure. Even when it comes to fish, look at us in the school of Ahlul Bayt. When it comes to eating fish, that fish with scales, we eat. That fish without scales, we don't eat on the majority opinion of jurists. Why? Someone could say, what's the issue if I'm going to eat oyster, lobster, calamari, squid, octopus? For us, the Shia, this is all haram. For us, the Shia, what is there? We have our fiqh, and our fiqh makes clear that when you're looking at the opinions of the majority of the ulama, what are they saying? Those fish with scales, different to those fish without scales. When your mom therefore only bought cod, or your mom may have bought sea bass, or your mom may have bought, I don't know, any of the fish with the haddock and the trout and so on. Why couldn't your mom have just bought all the fish without scales, for example? For what reason? Because your mom wanted to make sure that everything that was fed to you was the most beautiful and the purest according to the teachings of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Therefore, on the one level, Imam says, the right of your mother is that she carried you where no one else carried you. You can never thank her for those 9 months, even if you send her 1,000,000 birthday presents. Number 2, she fed you from the fruit of her heart. Fed you physically only? No. When your mother feeds you the love of Rasulullah, that is the best barakah from your mother. True? How many of us did we realize that our love for Muhammad and al-Muhammad was because of our mothers? How many of us? When your mother said to you, the greatest man to have ever lived is the Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You know what that is? That's spiritual food that your mom fed you. This salawat that we all do in our mosques, who is it that taught us that salawat? Who is it? Wasn't it your mom? As soon as she heard the name of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, straight away she said what? Recite salawat. How many times? That was a food that our mother taught us. What was it? Number 1, instilling in us the love of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Number 2, not just instilling in us the love of Rasulullah, but instilling in us the love of the family of Rasulullah. There are many Muslims in the world today. You tell them, who's the greatest? Say Rasulullah. Say, how about Fatima al-Zahra, Imam al-Hassan, Imam al-Husayn? Say, bro, you know, I know about Rasulullah and I know those are his family. Don't just say those are his family. That's not his family. That is ilm walking on the earth. That is hikmah walking on the earth. Who instilled in you that love and told you in Muharram wear black when you go to the mosque? Who? Who is it that made you wear black on the way to the mosque in Muharram? And said to you that when you go to the mosque, if you hear the name of Ali ibn Abi Talib in the mosque, who is it that told you do a Nara Haydari at that moment? Yes? When you hear a Nara Haydari at that moment, who is it that taught you the response to that Nara Haydari? Yes? When someone does a Nara, and I straight away call out the name of the son-in-law of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who is it that? Our mums, when they fed us from the fruit of their hearts, you know how they fed us? That walk to the mosque, wallah, nothing can replace what they did to take us to the Majlis of Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam. Nothing. Do you know how grateful you should be to your mom? You kiss her hand. That mom, you are the one who took me to the Majlis of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. Therefore, on the second level, what does the Imam say? The right of your mother is that you recognize she carried you where no one else carries anyone. And she fed you from the fruit of her heart, that which no one feeds anyone. Number 3, and she protected you with all of her organs. When your mom's pregnant with you, She wants to make sure that you don't get injured. She'd rather get injured. Our mums, when they're pregnant with us, they would make sure that what they're carrying doesn't get hurt. They don't mind if they get hurt. They'll put their body on the line. How many of us recognize how many times our mothers would protect us from being hurt in every single way that's possible? The Imam moves on. Your mother did not mind, what's the first thing he mentions? Being hungry as long as you ate. Shahr Ramadan, 10 minutes left to iftar. Half the men's side sitting here in front of me are cranky at that time. True? Is it iftar time? Is it iftar time? Is it iftar time? Is it iftar time? The poor mom has been cooking the whole day. I've been working. I come. She has been cooking the whole day. And it's the men. Is it iftar? How long left? How long left? How long left? How many of us, when it came to food time, she has laid out the table, we have destroyed the iftar, our mom hasn't even eaten one thing yet. Think about it. So I'm the first to say this. Why would I deny it? When my mom has done an iftar at home, my mom will still be serving. I've already destroyed that soup in front of me. That's gone. The soup's gone. My mom would come back, put more dishes. Yalla mom, hurry up. We don't want to start without you. How many times have you said, we don't want to start without you? You've already had about 3 meals. Mom, hurry up. We don't want to start without you. Does she reply, wait, I'm coming? Does she reply, don't eat until I come? Or do you see a smile on her face because you're eating? To the extent some mothers will go and pray Maghrib, and some of us are lying back. Wallah, I'm so full. The mom hasn't touched the food. The mom has prayed Maghrib. She's cooked the whole day. What does the Imam say? She didn't mind being hungry as long as you ate. Allahu Akbar. And she didn't mind being thirsty as long as you drank. How many of us, our mom would make sure that we drink? She's thirsty. She's carried us. Taken us. You, all right? You're thirsty? Shall I get you some water? Mom, but your lips are dry. She didn't mind being what? Naked as long as you were clothed. I'd rather get you changed and ready before I get changed and ready. And she did not mind being in the sun as long as you were in the shade. Let the sun burn me, but the main thing is that my child is not burnt. Then Imam says, she did not mind losing sleep for your sake. Only those who have children will know that the mother doesn't mind losing sleep for the sake of that baby, so that baby is happy or that baby is resting. The father in some cases snoring non-stop and gone, died. Whereas the mom does not mind losing sleep for what? So that you are getting to rest in peace. And she would protect you, Imam says, from the cold and from the heat. If it's cold of winter of the UK, wallah, she would make sure she protects us more than she protects herself. And if it's the heat of somewhere else, she doesn't mind that the heat affects her. All for what reason? So that you might belong to her. She done all of this so that you might belong to her. So that you recognize her position. So that you recognize that she'll lay down anything for you. Notice therefore that what the Imam was referring to when it came to the rights of the mother was embodied from his grandfather Rasulullah. Rasulullah had instilled this sallallahu alayhi wa in his community to an extent that there were people who straight away recognized that half his message was respect to the mother. On the one level, Rasulullah would say, heaven lies underneath the feet of the mother. On the second level, however, Rasulullah highlighted that obedience to one's mom may come higher than other acts of worship. In which way? One particular person who everybody in Islam loves and everybody in Islam respects is known as a companion of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, and he never met Rasulullah. Who? All of you know. Uwais al-Qarani. Uwais al-Qarani had never met the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and his family. Uwais al-Qarani kept writing to the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and his family. I want to come and visit you. I want to come and visit you. I want to come and visit you. He would always ask his mom's permission. Mom, please allow me to go and visit the Holy Prophet, peace be upon his family. His mom would say no. Mom, I beg you, no. Mom, please, I'm living in Yemen. He's in Medina. It's not a long trip. Nope, nope, not allowed, nope. Until one day she said to him, I allow you to visit him, but on one condition. That condition is that you don't get off your horse. You say hello to him, and you come back to Yemen, you would have met him. Uwais had written to the Prophet, I'd love to visit you, but my mother doesn't let me. What's your opinion? Rasulullah replied to him by saying, visiting me in Medina is sunnah. Obedience to your mother is wajib. Imagine. Visiting me in Medina. Yes, that's a sunnah. But obedience to your mom is wajib. When his mom finally let him, Uwais reached Medina. When Uwais reached Medina, he asked, where is Rasulullah? Where is Rasulullah? They said to him, he's gone to the battle of Uhud. He missed the Prophet. He went from there and he came back to Yemen. When Rasulullah came back to Medina, he asked the people, I smelled the fragrance of Jannah. I just want you to understand that one line. I smell the fragrance of Jannah. They said to him, what do you mean? He said, has Uwais al-Qarani been here? They said to him, yes. He said, because of his obedience to his mom, Allah has placed the fragrance of Jannah on him wherever he walks. To the extent that his presence in Medina, you can smell the smell of Jannah. Does Rasulullah know the smell of Jannah or no? That night in Mi'raj, he got a good taste of Jannah. True? He smelled Jannah. He knew the meaning of Jannah. Uwais al-Qarani, Allah gave him so much tawfiq because of his akhlaq with his mom. Because you know, it's really easy to be rude to your mom. Easy to be loud to your mom. There are some cases where there are people who push their moms. There are some who have cursed their moms. The Quran said even the uff, even just going, pfft. Sometimes our moms tell us to do something, and just like, pfft. Or the tut, or the loud voice. Uwais al-Qarani, his mom said to him one condition. You visit that man, you don't get off your horse. You say hello to him, and you come back to me. Because of his obedience to his mom, Rasulullah said, number one, he has the fragrance of Jannah. But he gave him another tawfiq. What's the other tawfiq? The other tawfiq was something which is the biggest tawfiq you could get when you're kind and you're decent and you're obedient to your mom. Ask any Muslim, what do you think of Uwais al-Qarani? He says, amazing, amazing, great man, brilliant man. Any Muslim, go to Leicester Mosque now. What's this mosque you have? The local mosque here, the other one, the big one? Masjid Umar, is that the one? Go to that mosque, ask him, Uwais al-Qarani, what do you think? He said, Uwais al-Qarani, amazing. Why? He said, obedience to his mom. He said, yes, amazing. Uwais al-Qarani, how long did he live for? They said, brother, I don't know. I know the story about his mom. After Rasulullah died, what happened to Uwais al-Qarani, this man whose mummy's story is so amazing? You know what tawfiq Allah gave him because of his obedience to his mom? He let him understand the real meaning of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Because after Rasulullah died, it became easy to fight Ali ibn Abi Talib. Every Tom, Dick and Harry fought Ali ibn Abi Talib. Battle of Jamal, even Sahaba were fighting Ali ibn Abi Talib. One of the biggest disasters in our Islamic history is the Battle of the Camel. The fourth Khalifa is being fought by. And in Safin, Uwais al-Qarani was loyal to his mom, respectful to his mom. You know what tawfiq Allah gave him? Not palaces, not mansions. Allah made him understand the value of Ali ibn Abi Talib. There is no rizq on earth like understanding the value of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. This Uwais al-Qarani, ask any Muslim now, great man? He says, great man. Where's he buried? Where's he buried? Medina? Nah. Mecca? Nah. Where's Uwais al-Qarani buried? Uwais al-Qarani is buried in Raqqa. What's Raqqa today? ISIS.com. You know that area of savage animals? The ones that yesterday celebrated. You saw the videos or no? You saw the videos or no? Yesterday they celebrated the death of the Syed. They're giving out sweets. He's giving out sweets. The whole of Raqqa in Syria. Idlib, you know Idlib? Giving out sweets. Why? Because Syed had been killed. They gave out sweets. Well, you know what the beauty is? The generations don't change. Uwais al-Qarani died where? Uwais al-Qarani died in Raqqa. Which battle? How many of you have done ziyarah of Sayyidah Zainab here? Put your hands up. Sayyidah Zainab in Sham. How many of you? Yeah. Do you remember we used to do the long trips from Sham? We used to go all the way to Halab and Raqqa. You remember? So we'd go to Halab to see where the head of Imam al-Husayn was. And we used to go to Raqqa because there was a mosque where the battle of Siffin took place, where 3 of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi were killed. Killed by who? Muawiyah radiyallahu anhu killed Ammar bin Yasir radiyallahu anhu. The radiyallahu anhu card is given away in auctions for free. Uwais al-Qarani, where was he killed? Siffin. Siffin is who? Ali versus Muawiyah. Ali radiyallahu anhu fought Muawiyah radiyallahu anhu. Really? Like, Baba, there's no aql. Yani, wallah, use the intellect. How? This man, Uwais al-Qarani, was with Ali ibn Abi Talib. Why? He said, Rasulullah made it simple for me. Ali is with Haqq and Haqq is with Ali. There's no need for rocket science. There's no need to complicate the issue. Why are you complicating the issue? I've got to be good with everybody. As Steve Jobs used to say, if you want to be good with everyone, sell ice cream. There's a moment to take a stand in your life. Ammar bin Yasir. You respect Ammar bin Yasir? I said, of course. I respect Ammar bin Yasir. Ammar bin Yasir was killed at that battle, fighting to defend Ali. Why? Because defending Ali is defending Muhammad. Ammar killed Muawiyah's army. And you know when they killed Ammar, what happened? When they killed Ammar, what happened? There were people in Muawiyah's army said, oh, astaghfirullah. We've killed Ammar. And Ammar, Rasulullah said, Ammar will be killed by infidels. So therefore we are not on haqq. Fighting Ali is okay. There's no hadith about Ali. But when we killed Ammar, oh God, there's a problem here. Now that we've killed Ammar, we're not on haqq. So it's okay to fight Ali ibn Abi Talib, yes? And that's why this myth that all Muslims love Ali ibn Abi Talib, this is today. 1400 years ago. Alhamdulillah, today it's like this. 1400 years ago, it was normal to pick up a sword and fight Ali ibn Abi Talib and even be willing to kill him. Ammar bin Yasir, when they killed him, Muawiyah's army, what they say? They turn around and say, oh God, we've killed Ammar. We are not on haqq. Muawiyah had a headache. These guys know the hadith. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Ammar will be killed by infidels. So what does Muawiyah do? Muawiyah turns around and says, it's not me who killed him. Ali killed him. So what do you mean? He said he brought him to war. To which Imam Ali replied, then Rasulullah killed Hamza because he brought him to war. Ammar killed Siffin. Who of the other companions of Rasulullah was killed at Siffin? Husayn bin Thabit al-Ansari. People say, you Shia, you don't respect the Sahaba. Look at the Sahaba I'm listing. Ammar bin Yasir is not Sahabi. Husayn bin Thabit is not Sahabi. Husayn bin Thabit, Dhul Shahadatain. You know, normally your shahada is one witness. If I tell you now, for example, I tell you there's a talaq in the mosque. Can you come and be a witness? Yours is counted as one. There's one man in history from the companions of Rasulullah. His shahada is counted as two. Me and you, if I tell you there's a talaq, I say to you, come and be a witness. In Islam, how many witnesses do we need for divorce? Two. I tell you, your shahada is counted as one. There's one man, his shahada is counted as two. This Husayn ibn Thabit. You know why? Why is his shahada counted as two? When they doubted, Rasulullah had sold an animal, had bought an animal of someone, and he had paid him the money. That person comes later on to Medina. He goes, Muhammad owes me. Muhammad, as-Sadiq al-Amin, owes me. Rasulullah said, what do you mean I owe you? I paid you already. He said, nah, I can't remember you paying me. Rasulullah turned around to some of his companions and he said to them, what do you think of what he's saying? They're like, we weren't there. It's Sunday afternoon. Let me relax and go back to gear 1 because I'm heading to a gear 4 that's unhealthy. He said, weren't there. So I don't know if you're telling the truth. The man who's been receiving Wi-Fi emails from Gabriel. Of course, that's if you believe he was. Husayn was walking past. The Prophet said to him, he said, what's the issue? He goes, well, you know, I bought this thing and I paid the guy, but the guy's saying I haven't. Husayn said, and so what's the issue? He goes, the guy says, no witnessing. It's not true. Husayn, what do you think? He said, yes, I trust you, O Prophet of God. I gave my life for you on all things. You think I'm going to doubt you over the sale of an animal? That moment, Rasulullah said, everyone's shahada counts as one except him. His shahada counts as two. That man was killed with Ali ibn Abi Talib at Siffin. Number 2. Who's the third who was killed with Ali ibn Abi Talib at Siffin? Uwais al-Qarani. Uwais stood with Imam Ali at Siffin. He was so loyal to Imam Ali. He would not let anyone touch him unless he lost his life. Do you know why that tawfiq came? Because of his respect to his mum. When a person shows akhlaq and respect to their mother, Allah opens the doors of hidayah to them. Allah places a nur in their heart. And there is no nur in one's heart like having wilayah alongside risala. Therefore, you found on that level that people alongside Rasulullah, their akhlaq to their mother, Allah opened the doors for them. And that's why people ask the question, what if my mother, for example, is not a Muslim? There are people in this hall today, they may have converted to Islam, but their mum's Hindu. Some of you may have converted to Islam, your mum's Sikh. Some of you may have converted to Islam, your mum might be Christian. How do I treat my mum if she's still a non-Muslim and I've converted? You treat her double as well as you used to. Someone says, what do you mean double as well? Wasn't there that instance where you had that lady, that companion came to Rasulullah and said, Ya Rasulullah, my mom is Jewish and I'm Muslim. How should I treat her? He's converted. I'm Muslim. My mom's Jewish. How do I treat her? Rasulullah said, you treat her double as well as you used to. He said, but Ya Rasulullah, my mom's Jewish. He's like, does not matter. When he went home that day, imagine if I paraphrase the hadith, he's gone home that day, suddenly he's washing the dishes when he normally doesn't. And suddenly he's cleaning when he normally doesn't. At that moment, the mom looked at him. She said to him, young man, I see you behave in a way you've never behaved like this before. Why are you doing this? He said, Mom, when I converted to the religion of Islam, I went to the Prophet and I told him, you're Jewish and I'm Muslim. How do I treat you? And he said to me, treat your mom double as well as you used to. And therefore, when he said that to me, I want to behave even better than I used to before. She looked at him and she said to him, if Muhammad teaches that heaven lies underneath the feet of the mother, then I say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa Leicester Jama'at salawat used to be much louder than this one. Come on, a second louder salawat. If your mom is not Muslim and you become Muslim, that doesn't change the equation at all. The akhlaq should even be better. That's on the first level. A second level, what if my mom is not religious, but I'm religious? How do I treat her? You treat her with the best akhlaq. Someone says, but said, Ammar, my mom doesn't do hijab. I believe in hijab. My wife does hijab, but my mom doesn't. So on. Your mom doesn't. Your mom has her path, you have your path. Your mom has her grave, you have your grave. Your mom doesn't wear hijab, for example, or your mom doesn't come to the mosque, does not mean you show bad akhlaq. On the contrary, that remains your mom, and Allah is the judge of your mom, not you. You could always, because you love your mom, you could always say to her, for example, Mom, why don't I see you at mosque more? Mom, let me take you to mosque. One of the saddest things we have is that we don't offer to take, for example, our mother to a coffee or restaurant every once in a while alone. It always has to be with 15 other people. How many of you have ever just said to Mom, Mom, you want me to take you out? We just go for a coffee, just me and you. You know why I say this? Because our moms are so strong, my dear brothers and sisters, that you may not recognize when your mom may have a mental health problem. Because our moms have to always act strong. Your mom never admits to you if she's depressed. Your mom never admits to you if she misses someone badly. And for us, because they are so strong, we always think they're fine. But we don't realize sometimes until it's late. You have to make sure that even if your mother doesn't live up to every standard that you have to always make sure you ask about her properly. Physically, she may appear to be amazing, but mentally she may be down. Maybe your father has made life difficult for her. Maybe. Or maybe her relatives have made life difficult for her. Maybe life becomes too difficult. And if you were down, wouldn't you want your friends to tell you, listen, let's go out, change atmosphere, or I book you a holiday? And you have to do this with your mom before it's too late. Therefore, if my mom's not religious, my akhlaq still remains the highest. My mom's not Muslim, my akhlaq has to remain the highest. What if my mom is not of the same sect of Islam as me? Say I follow a particular sect of Islam and she follows another. Does not matter. She follows another sect of Islam. You don't need to bring up with her any issues that's going to bring you a back and forth with each other. No need. I have many who have become Shia in the Muslim world. And I don't mind. Listen, you want to stay what you are. At the end of the day, you have got to answer for, not me. I can only show you a perspective of Islam. You agree with it, you agree. You don't agree with it, you go and do your thing. I can't be bothered even thinking or pushing you towards a direction. But there are some who come to me and they say to me, my mom says, I don't want to see you pray your prostration on that stone thing. Don't then. Don't. Like I said, Ammar, I want to pray on the moor. If it's hurting your mom, then don't do it. Go into another place in the world, not in front of your mom. You don't need to stick your beliefs in your mom's face. There's an akhlaqi way to do things. There's a respectful way to do things as well. Someone says, what if my mom, if I have to obey her, what if she asks me to do something haram? Do I still have to obey her? Say, for example, your mom says to you that we're going to go to a wedding and there's DJ and dancing and alcohol and everything. Do I have to obey my mom? No. I can say, Mom, no, I'm not going. But I say it with akhlaq. I don't need to cause a ruckus or a fight. Say, Mom, with all due respect, no, but it's your cousin. My cousin, in all honesty, his life is not going to revolve around my attendance at his wedding. And if he wants a boxed gift, I'll give him a boxed one. And if he wants an enveloped gift, I'll give him an envelope. But in reality, his wedding is not going to be affected by my akhirah will be affected by my attendance. Someone said, but it's your mum. No, my mum, I obey her in the areas she asks me to obey Allah. If my mum asks me to obey or to follow that which goes against the path of God, no. I can politely decline, because there are some people, they do haram things like that. Bro, I don't want to do it, but my mum said we have to be there. Who's your mum? Your mum said you have to be there. How many times have you said no to your mum on other things? Now is all of a sudden you become the weak guy? When your mum says to you that which is in the path of God, you submit wholeheartedly. When your mum, however, turns around and says to you to do that which goes against the path of God, you can't use her as an excuse for why you're doing it. No. You can say, Mom, I have an akhirah, you have an akhirah. I have a qabr, you have a qabr. I have to answer my Lord. I politely refuse to do that which you are asking me on this issue. Islam doesn't say you blindly worship your mum. Because I've seen people. There are people. When his mom says, leave this girl, they leave her. Okay, your mom said, leave this girl. But has the girl done anything wrong? No, but my mom said, yes, but why are you divorcing? For what reason? He said, because my mom said so. Your mom's blackmailed you on something doesn't mean mom is always right. This is an important point. Sometimes there may be a situation where Allah even tests you with your mother. There are some, their test comes with their mother. That their mother may even direct them in a certain situation. At that moment, a person has to turn around and cannot be unjust just because it's their mother. A person can say that I show goodness towards my mother, I show akhlaq towards my mother, but where there's halal or haram and justice and injustice, I need to be also open to talking to my mom. Because some mothers unfortunately do this. They'll say, because you're not listening to me, you're not getting Jannah. How many times have you heard the stories? Yeah? If you don't listen to me, you're not going to get Jannah. But mom, I'll listen to you if you're speaking justly. But if you're doing dhulm on someone, I cannot turn around and just say, I wholeheartedly submit. Therefore, notice that the main criteria in all of this is what? Is that whether you agree or disagree, the akhlaq has to always remain high. A person's akhlaq with their mother, whether their mother is in the right or in the wrong, can never change. But the words of justice must always be there. Finally, the question arises. My mother's rights on me, are they just in this world? That I have to honor her? Remember where she carried me? She fed me from the fruit of her heart. She is the one who didn't mind going hungry as long as I ate, or thirsty as long as... Is that just in this world? No. My mother also has rights on me after we've buried her under the ground. Yes? Because sometimes we may imagine, as soon as our mom's buried, we do the janazah, we do the mayyit, and that's it. Game, set and match, it's over. No. On the contrary, my mother has just moved from here to barzakh, and I can still affect her happiness in barzakh. This is a vital point. Sometimes some of us, when our mom dies, you're like, read the Fatiha. We read the Fatiha. Marhuma Razia died. Fatiha. We've read the Fatiha. Let's go to the janazah. Let's read mayyit. Let's read dua. And that's it. There are acts that you can perform that ensure that your mum in the world of barzakh is smiling. Isn't that what you want to put in your mum's life or no? I ask all of you. If your mum's passed away and someone said to you, I could give you something which will make your mum happy in the world of barzakh, in the world of the next dimension, you would grab it straight away. What's the first thing that I can do that brings a smile on my mum's face? What's the first thing? Pay charity in my mum's name. Imam al-Baqir, salawatullah wa salamuhu alayhi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam says, nothing brings a smile more on someone's marhum than what? Than paying sadaqah in their name. Barzakh, you could be smiling or you could be crying. Your mum is there in barzakh now. When was the last time you paid charity in your mum's name? When was the last time? Your marhum mom passed away just over a month ago. Your marhuma mother passed away just recently. What can I do? It's not just when they're alive. I owe them even when they've gone. Number one, I pay sadaqah in their name. And how many causes there are I could pay sadaqah to? Wallahi, this world today, it's unbelievable the amount of places you could pay sadaqah to. The Lebanese are dying. The Lebanese are starving. The Lebanese are being displaced. The Palestinian who's screaming and shouting and crying. The Pakistani, who many forget the innocence of Parachinar and Quetta and places like this where people are being butchered because they are what? Because they are Shia of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. I even, wallahi, I go to my barber on a lighter note, and it's from there, and I said to him, why this happens, the Shia. He goes, brother, these things happen. People fight each other as if there's nothing. Nothing. Just people fight each other or just kill each other and so on. Innocence in Pakistan needs sadaqah. Lebanese sadaqah. Palestine. UK, we have families. Wallah, they may look like they come to the mosque, but they're going through hard times. Some of them give your sadaqah. Give that sadaqah in the name of your marhuma. Say, my mum raised me, looked after me. I want to give sadaqah in her name. Automatically, in the world of barzakh, there's a smile that affects your mother. Because her boy or her girl gave sadaqah in her name. Number one, sadaqah in your mum's name. Number two, do a hajj on behalf of your mum. Do a hajj. Maybe your mum couldn't go to hajj. Do a hajj on behalf of your mum. Maybe your mum did a hajj. Do another one on behalf of her. Number three, umrah on behalf. Umrah, I don't mean do the whole thing. What I'm saying is even do one tawaf. One tawaf. Dedicate a tawaf to the imam of your time. Dedicate a tawaf to yourself. Dedicate a tawaf to your parents who have passed away. Number four, read Quran by your mum's grave. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen, when his wife passed away, the lady of Jannah, he would read Quran by her grave. Today, when you want to read Quran by the grave of Hamza, the uncle of the Prophet, you always have this one guy telling you, shh, shh, shh. You've seen or no? Go, go. So why go? He says, we have no hadith that says you can read the Quran by the grave of someone who's dead. Who are all the big sins in the world? This is the one you want to punish me on. All of the big things that the Muslim world, mashallah, is doing. And me reading Quran by the grave of the uncle of Rasulullah is the one you want to kick me away for? Alhamdulillah, we have Ahlul Bayt. And Alhamdulillah, Imam Ali taught us, you go to your parents' grave, read Quran by their grave. I'm not saying read Surah Al-Baqarah and stay there for 7 hours. Laylat al-Qadr, just read Surah Al-Qadr. Imam al-Rada alayhi salam says that nothing brings happiness more to the marhum like reading Surah Al-Qadr by their grave. Surah Al-Qadr. Everyone's memorized it. That's another thing. More than that, what else can you do? Do a ziyarah in the name of your mother. Ask yourselves, and I ask my two friends, Arif and Shane, and all of those of you who've lost your mothers, may Allah bless all of your marhumin. When you want to honor them with a ziyarah, who did your mum love the most? Yes? Ask yourself. I know. May Allah lengthen the life of my mother and your mothers, those whose mothers are still alive. I know my mum. I know if I ask her today, actually, it's a good point now that I think about it. It's a battle. But I know that when push comes to shove, my mom will always repeat to me a line. She will say to me, no one was hurt and no one appreciates Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. So for me, if my mom passes away, then Safar, when the Prophet died in the month of Safar, that will be an important majlis for me because that's for my mom. Now you ask yourself, if your mom passed away, who did she love the most? Some of you might say, my mom loved Fatima al-Zahra the most. So do a majlis in honor of Fatima al-Zahra with your mom's name. Because why? This is credit to the bank of Barzakh and Qiyamah. It's credit. It might be something that helps. Because on the day of judgment, you may be able to intercede for her. Or she might intercede for you. What else can you do for your mom? Is that you could do a majlis in her honor. And that majlis in her honor, instead of the ziyarah to Medina or Karbala, no. You do a majlis in the honor of your mother. Try even to have a house majlis. It doesn't even have to be at the mosque, where you bring 5, 10 of your friends, you gather and you recite the masa'ib of Sayyid al-Shuhada. Imam Zayn al-Abidin, therefore, he ended the passage by saying what? You will never be able to be grateful to your mom unless Allah helps you. What does that mean? That means as many birthday gifts, as many Mother's Day gifts, as many cards, I can never be grateful enough to my mom unless Allah helps me. And that's why all of us should ask Allah, Ya Allah, don't let me leave this world unless my mother has been pleased with me. Not my bank manager, nor my employer, no. Unless my mom has been pleased with me. How many of you in this hall miss your mother? Wallahi. There are many of you who sit here today. How many of you wish, even on your phone, one more time, it says mom. And you're able to see your mom. And you're able to sit with your mom. How many of us wasted time and could have spent more time with our mothers? And we wish we were with them. And that's why for Imam Zayn al-Abidin, the mother struck his chord very much. Why? Firstly, his mom died a couple of days after she gave birth to him. His mother gave birth to him. And a couple of days later, his mother, Shahrbanu, died. So for Imam Zayn al-Abidin, he never actually was able to meet his mom. He was raised therefore by who? He was raised by his stepmoms. Who were those stepmoms in the house? All of you know them. I don't need to repeat who they are. But you know those ladies who raised Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam. Are there better mothers than Layla, wife of Imam al-Husayn? Is there a better mom than Rabab, wife of Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam? And when he would sit on the table eating with the stepmom and Imam al-Husayn, Imam Zayn al-Abidin, the narration says, one day there was food in front of him on the table. He wouldn't put his hand out until his stepmom put her hand. They said to him, why? He said, maybe she had her eyes on a dish that I was going to go for. So I wanted her to have it first before me. Allahu Akbar. That's not his real mom, that's his stepmom. Therefore, those ladies, they were there for him in his life. They were there for him in his father's life. But because he lost his mother at such a young age, his father became everything to him. And that's why Karbala became difficult for him. Why? Because those of you who've lost your mother and not had that blessing of having a mother, then your father becomes your father and mother. True? And for Imam Zayn al-Abidin alayhi salam, his father became his everything. He became a mom and he became a dad to him. And he raised him in every single way. So then imagine on the plains of Karbala, when your father needed you the most, you could not be there for him. Even when he heard his father's cry, هَلْ مِن نَاصِرٍ يَنصُرُنَا أَمَا مِن ذَابٍ يَذُبُّ عَنْ حَرَمِ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أَمَا مِن مُغِيثٍ يُغِيثُنَا. The Maqatil narrated, the Imam called out, give me a sword and give me a stick. As for the stick, so I may stand up, and as for the sword, so I may defend the body of my father. 1 minute you're looking for a sword and a stick, and the next minute you see the sword of shimmer on your father's neck. Only Allah knows the pain of Imam Zayn al-Abidin when he saw shimmer on the chest of Husayn. Allahu Akbar. May Allah never show you that scene. Only the son of Imam al-Husayn could describe that scene. And that's that's why that scene remained with him forever. Why? His father had been so kind to him. He had been like a mom and a dad to him. But he couldn't be there for his father when his father needed him the most. And that's why whenever he saw a scene that reminded him of his father, he would break down. Yes? One day he saw a butcher about to slaughter a sheep. Yes? He came to the butcher. He said to the butcher, have you given water to the sheep before you slaughter it? The butcher looked at him. He said, of course, O grandson of Rasulullah. The sheep is a creation of Allah. I would never slaughter it without it being given water. He said, my father lay on the earth of Karbala thirsty with no one to give him. Allahu Akbar. One day he was in the Qabristan, in the Maqbara, in the graveyard. He saw someone who was there, the man who used to bury the bodies. He came up to the man. He said to him, oh man, when I die, will you bury my body? Allah. The Imam said to him, yes, of course, it would be my honor. He said to him, oh man, my father lay for 3 nights on the earth of Karbala with no one to bury his body. But without a doubt, it was at the end of his life. What Imam al-Baqir describes breaks all of our hearts until today. Imam al-Baqir narrates, he said, my father, the poison had surrounded his body. It was all over his body, the poison from the Umayyads. He said, I came near my father's body. I could see the pain all over his body. He said, so when I came near him, I hugged my father on his chest. Yes? You know that scene when your father's dying, your mother's dying. You just want to hug them, don't you? You don't want them to go. You don't want to hear the words, Inna lillahi. Yes? Wa inna ilayhi raji'un. You don't want to hear those words. Imam al-Baqir says, as soon as I hugged him, I saw him beginning to cry in a way I've never seen him cry before. What makes him cry this much? It's his last moments. So he said, I said to him, Father, why do you cry? When in a moment you'll see Rasulullah, and in a moment you'll see Fatima al-Zahra, in a moment you'll see Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen, in a moment you'll see Imam al-Hassan and Imam al-Husayn. Father, why do you cry when I hug you? Listen to the reply. He said to him, Muhammad, 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 my son, when I'm dying, you're on my chest. Whereas you know who sat on the chest of my father when he was dying. Allahu Akbar. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. With these tears, my dear brothers and sisters, raise your hands in dua. Ya Allah, those of us whose mothers are still alive, lengthen their lives, Ya Allah, in the service of Muhammad and al-Muhammad. And those of us whose mothers have passed away, Ya Allah, raise them with Muhammad and al-Muhammad. There are some of you here whose parents are not Muslims. I want to just say one thing to you. Don't stop praying for your parents. Don't stop praying. There are some schools in Islam which are so cutthroat. They will tell you, your parents are kafir. They sent the Prophet's parents to hell. What's left for us? Anyway, so keep praying for your parents. Wherever they are, if they're Muslim or they're not Muslim, keep praying for them. Why? Because there must have been some goodness in them that you found Muhammad and al-Muhammad. Don't forget that. Our mothers who are alive, Ya Allah, lengthen their lives. Our mothers who have passed away, Ya Allah, raise them with Muhammad and al-Muhammad. Our beloved Razia Alladitta, Ya Allah, raise her with her beloved Muhammad and al-Muhammad. Bless her family, Ya Allah. Bless her sons and bless her in-laws, inshaAllah, Ya Rab. And allow them to continue in their service of Muhammad and al-Muhammad. I'm really proud. Honestly, I'm really proud to have known Arif for such a long time. And I know how much he loved his mother and how much difficulty his mother went through. And I remember, of course, what the whole family went through. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you all sabr, especially with the passing of your mother and Sajjad and all these difficult days. And I know how much Arif's wife, Farah, how much she gave her mother-in-law until the dying moments. How much support. And this is a lesson for all. A lesson that sometimes a mother-in-law can be so nice that she becomes your mum. This is a lesson in life. May Allah bless her soul, insha'Allah. And may Allah bless all of your mother's souls. And may Allah give patience to the Muslims around the world in this difficult time, Ya Allah. And may Allah bless this jama'ah to continue to be a jama'ah that serves Muhammad and Al Muhammad, Ya Allah. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the Surah Al-Fatiha, but before it, the loudest of your salawat. Allah. Allahumma salli.
السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا مولاي يا أمير المؤمنين ولي الله، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا مولاي يا أبا محمد الحسن المجتبى، السلام عليك يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولى وابن مولى يا غريب الغرباء يا معين الضعفاء والفقراء، السلطان أبا الحسن مولانا علي بن موسى الرضا، كن شفينا وشفي والدينا في يوم الجزاء. وفقنا الله لزيارتك يا مولاي ورزقنا الله شفاعتك في الدنيا والآخرة. السلام عليك وعلى أختك فاطمة المعصومة جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا حجة الله يا ابن الحسن يا صاحب الزمان، سيدي الأمان 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 من فتنة الزمان من شر الزمان. السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن ويا شريك القرآن ويا كعبة الإيمان ويا إمامنا وإمام الإنس والجان. عجل الله فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كل وليك
الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة، وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. سورة المباركة الفاتحة.